Hello everyone, this is going to be a little bit of a different video than what you're normally used to. I'm doing this in response to a channel review, my channel, Dave Does Cambodia, and this guy here, Gringo Life in Peru, he evaluated and reviewed my channel, and this is my response to that. Now, it wasn't all bad. Some of it was very good, in fact. But there were a lot of things that were misconstrued, taken out of context, and without asking, just generally assumptions about certain things. And those are the things I want to address. But first, we'll have a look at his channel. He has 381 subscribers, which is pretty good. But he's a gringo in Peru. So obviously that, he's in Peru, South America. Just in case you didn't know. And he teaches English in Peru. Some of his videos are entitled things like How Retards Use the Phone in Peru, Some Fine Ass African Queens in Shit. Don't know what that means. What Women Are Hotter? It should be Which Women Are Harder. Just saying. Bout to trip balls again in shit. Did Indu in Peru gets high AF in his dining room. Not sure what a dining room is. And what's up, my nagas? So that's the extent of his content, basically. And I'm going to show you one of his videos.
Yo, my niggas. I'm doing some more ayahuasca and shit, know what I'm saying? I'm about to trip balls, know what I mean? I hope you enjoyed the video yesterday. I'm about to get high as fuck. Thank you. Please like and subscribe.
Please like and subscribe. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about what I don't like about his videos or anything like that. I'm here to talk about one specific video, Dave Does Cambodia YouTube channel review. 3 days ago, it's got 7 views. We're going to click on it. Wait for it to load because I have very crappy internet here. And it's going to be slow. Let's start from the beginning. Because I do not want to misconstrue anything. I don't want you to think I haven't done my due diligence. Welcome to Aquarius Peru's Aquariums and Expat Topics. I do like the fish. Very nice fish. Yeah, I like the fish.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. I was asked by several subscribers to review this channel called Dave Does Cambodia. I was kind of shocked when I was told to do this because I didn't really know many people watched them. I thought maybe I was like one of the few people. And well, there's actually...
Hey, me too, man. Me too. I am always shocked at the amount of people that actually watch my channel. Not all of them are subscribers, but I'm always shocked at how many views I get on some of my videos. So you're not the only one, man. You're not the only one.
Quite a lot of people, I guess. He has 966 subscribers, which isn't many, but
975 now. Not bragging, just saying. That's not a great amount. It's actually a very low amount. But I appreciate you all.
I was shocked one of my subscribers watches him. He's about to monetize soon, I guess. As you guys know,
I am about to monetize soon, but here's the thing with monetization on YouTube. I have a niche that's within another niche that is still within another niche. I'm like the Russian dolls of niches. A lot of people talk about monetization on YouTube as if it's a big thing. It's not a big thing. It depends on your niche. It depends on so many different factors, mainly the niche you're in. I have a very specific niche. Siem Reap in Cambodia. And that's it.
I was in Thailand not too long ago, and I talked to this guy for a while, and I was hoping he would help me, and I tried to talk to him over the months, but no, this guy, he wasn't that helpful or friendly. He told me a couple things, about the visas and stuff, but more than that, not much. Just told me I
wasn't too helpful. I wasn't too friendly, according to Gringo. But I did tell him about the visas and stuff, which is what he asked about. So sometimes I just don't know what people expect out of me. I guess it depends on your definition of friendly, your definition of helpful. I don't know. You ask me a question about a visa, I give you an answer about a visa. To me, that's pretty helpful and pretty friendly.
to save a lot of money. And
Yeah, he said I told him to save a lot of money. I didn't tell him to save a lot of money. What I tell everybody is how much money I saved before I came over here and how much it could actually cost before you come over here, including getting an apartment, paying the deposit, buying things you need, which I call one-offs before you get here, and all that kind of stuff. I tell people about that because I think it's important to have an idea of how much money you need before you come over here. Now, I saved an extraordinary amount of money, personally. But I never say that's what everybody should save. I've never said that. I've never implied that. I've never told anyone that. If they ask me, how much money did you have? I will tell them. But I've never told or implied to anyone else, this is how much money you should be saving. It depends on a lot of factors.
in his videos, he makes it like he really wants to help people, which I really don't understand why, because he's in a city that supposedly doesn't pay as well as Phnom Penh. Anyways,
That part I don't understand. I make it seem like I want to help people, but I'm not in a city that pays as well as Phnom Penh. Okay, well, what does that have to do with anything? If in America, if I don't live in New York City, does that mean I don't want to help people because I lived in Michigan? That doesn't make sense. Of course I want to help people. But I can only help people based on my own experiences and what I actually know. Can I help you if you move to Phnom Penh? No, because I don't live there. That's not a hard thing.
His videos are pretty good. The majority of them.
Oh, thank you for that. I don't know how good they are. I don't do a lot of editing. I walk around. I talk. I show you my point of view of things. But I appreciate you saying that, Gringo. Thank you.
Some are him walking through the city with his camera and him talking, which is a pretty good idea. You get to see some interesting things. He goes in a lot of markets. Sometimes he shows his girlfriend's kid, which is interesting. He talks about his job. Sometimes he shows his school. He actually takes a lot of risks, showing his work, which I would never do in Peru because people are really sensitive here. I imagine people aren't as sensitive over there. Teachers are more respected.
I don't think it's about teachers being more respected. I ask permission to take pictures or video of my students in class. If you look at all my videos, I don't have a ton of pictures or videos with my students or my classes. I get as many as I can, but I don't have a whole lot. If somebody here doesn't want to be on video, I do not film them. It's really that simple.
But he talks about his life a little bit. I think he said he was in the military. He was also a factory worker or something like that. I think around Detroit or the Rust Belt, something like that. And he was having troubles and couldn't find any work, and he retired early or something like that.
Okay, most of that is true. I was in the military for 4 years. I spent 2 years in Germany, 2 years in Colorado Springs, Colorado at Fort Carson. That was my military experience. After that, I moved back to Michigan, and the most prominent, accessible, available jobs are in a factory. And I did that for many years. Because those were the jobs you depended on to give you money so you could live. So that was right. However, it wasn't in Detroit. It was on the other side of the state. But still, man, that little piece of information doesn't matter. You're mostly correct in this. But I did not retire. Retirement means some kind of benefit coming to you every month, whether it's a pension, Social Security, something like that. I don't get Social Security until I'm 62. I'm only 56. I didn't retire. I quit. But that was just for clarification, not that he said anything wrong about that whatsoever.
That's what I remember hearing in one of his videos. This is him. He's kind of lucky because usually as older guys, it starts to get harder to find jobs teaching English. They usually want younger people that are cool.
Younger people that are cool? Hey, man, come on. What do you mean? I'm not cool because I'm not young? Older guys can't be cool. Older chicks can't be cool. Come on, man. That's just wrong. And by the way, Cambodia has had this whole change, and it's constantly progressing, that they're not just looking for the young, pretty white faces. They're looking for people with experience. And there are people on billboards all around town. People in front of schools with their big banners and flyers. And the faces on those posters are older people. Because older means more experience. Older means more stability. And they're coming around to the fact that, the backpacker people that come in sometimes, and nothing against them, but they do come in sometimes. They sign a contract for 6 months, and they're only doing it to save enough money so they can not renew their contract, but go on to the next country to teach later. And schools are looking for more people who are stable and have the ability to teach without the school having to find a new teacher for classes every 3 to 6 months. Well, I understand what you're saying.
See if he has any discussions going on. Yes, here you go. If you look on about, it says he quit his job and moved to Cambodia to teach English. And of course, he has all these support links to donate to him, how to make money with them, how to support the kids in Cambodia to get a free education. A lot of these things I'm not so sure about. He talks about them in every video.
I do talk about them in every video because it's true. If anybody has ever checked out my links down below, like in this video, you can go to my webpage. You can see pictures. If you're a Patreon, you can see videos. If you go to my Facebook page, you can see pictures of the students I teach. I don't know why that's even being brought up, because there's evidence and proof of that all over the internet.
Video, but I don't know if to trust him or not. A lot of his videos in the past, not so much now.
But I don't know whether to trust him or not. So, let me get this out of the way. My plan, almost right now, 4-year plan was to do this. I quit my job in the United States. The job that was paying me $1,600 a month after taxes. I sold everything I had. I quit my job. And my plan, my diabolical plan, was to move halfway around the world. Just so 2 years later, I could start asking people to give me enough money to make $1,000 or less, mostly or less, per month. I just want you to let that register how my long-term scam plays out. I quit a job that paid $1,600 a month in the United States so I could come all the way to Cambodia, wait 2 years, and then start scamming people for money so I can make $500, $600 a month. That would not be a good plan, I don't think. In fact, I think that would put me on an edition of True TV's 10 Dumbest Scammers of All Time. Because I quit my job, I sold everything I had, I gave up my whole life back in the United States, and came here to teach. So people that think I did that for a scam are obviously not just thinking it through. But let's continue.
He asked for money. For me to watch that and see that he has a living girlfriend, it's kind of strange, Why would you need money while at the same time you're taking care of a woman and her kid? Maybe you should start asking her to pay her own bills. I don't know, man. But asking other people to help you so you can get laid, it's not too cool.
So let me take care of this. This is one of my the biggest tipping points for me in this whole video. Me and Single Eye have been together for over 2 years. We're in a relationship. The fact that you're implying that I'm asking people to pay me so I can get laid is not only ridiculous, but it's kind of racist, because you're assuming that because I'm an American over here in a poor country dating a local, so that must be my obvious plan. What that implies is that A, either I have to pay money to someone just to have sex with me, or B, that the only way my girlfriend of over 2 years will have sex with me is if I have money. And both of those are kind of insulting. And I don't know if somebody who has, hey, look at these black butts in my videos, shit, people will understand. But let me tell you what Single Eye contributes. Just because she doesn't have a job does not mean she doesn't contribute. She is up way before me every day. By the time I get up, she has already swept the floor. She has already cleaned the table. She has already done the dishes. She is already starting something to eat. She has already hand washed all the laundry and hung it out to dry. And she is always thinking about my comfort first. I can't thank her enough for everything she does. If I say, off the cuff, I really wish I had a coffee, she will find a way to make that happen. Next thing I know, she's getting her hat, she's getting her purse, she's walking down, comes back with a coffee for me. Just because somebody doesn't contribute financially does not mean they're a waste of space. And how many couples in America or anywhere else are in hard financial times and have to ask people for money? Have you checked out a GoFundMe page? Check out GoFundMe. Just go check that out. Are you implying that if you're in a relationship, you should have plenty of money? Or if you're in a relationship, you should end that relationship immediately as soon as you drop below a certain income point? Is that what you're thinking? And as far as her daughter goes, her daughter gets up every single morning before me or her and goes to her job at 14 years old, cleaning apartments in a guest house for $120 a month, which she contributes to the household. So let's not mistake the, somebody's paying me to get laid thing as anything significant, because that's just freaking wrong. If you've ever been in a relationship at all in your life, you would know that it's not all about, sex. You have a life to lead. You have things you have to do, things you have to figure out. So let's not confuse one thing for another. And I understand the reason most people do that is because, I'm an American living in Cambodia, so I've heard about Cambodian women. They must all be in it for the money, and they look at you as a walking ATM machine, blah, blah, blah. And that might be true some of the time, but it's not true 100% of the time. And unless you know each individual involved, making those assumptions makes you look foolish.
At least to me, it's not that cool. All right, let's look at his videos. He has a lot of videos. He seems like a nice guy, but on video, it's easy to trick people. He talks about all kinds of subjects, from the coronavirus to being black in Cambodia. He talks about prices in the supermarket.
I do talk about things like the coronavirus, prices in the supermarket, teaching over 40. What about being black in Cambodia as a teacher? I talk about all those things. And those sound like things that I am being helpful and friendly about. All one has to do is scroll down on my videos, find whatever subject they may be looking for, and I give that information freely. Now, earlier, it was said that I'm not very helpful, I'm not very friendly. So, you decide.
So he's had this channel for over a year, 2 years actually. Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, 2 years.
Yes, 2 years I've had my channel, 2 years. And here's what I want to say about that. If you're going to review somebody's channel, that's fine. I do appreciate it. But do your research and get your facts straight first. That's all. It's not that hard. There are channels on YouTube that do that for a living. That's what they do. They just review and talk about other people's channels, and they make a very good living with their ads doing that. It's not that difficult to do it with one.
Not quite 1,000 yet, but he's still doing well. He has a lot of interesting topics, like his girlfriend got sick. I can't remember.
No, Second Life did not get sick. My girlfriend didn't get it. Her sister came here. She had appendicitis, had to go to the hospital. I decided to do a hospital video. I got pictures of the whole thing, including the appendix they eventually took out of her. It's pretty gross, but pretty interesting.
What it was, but it was pretty serious. He talked about one time he lost his job, or another one, the school wouldn't pay him, or they decided they're going to pay him half of what they agreed upon. It was pretty shitty stuff. And he asked for money. And I remember he was talking about the poor expats with like holes in their shoes and people begging. I admit I wrote something on his discussion board, like how can you call people poor and make fun of them like that if you're asking for money every video? And he clarified on his discussion that he was talking more about the beggars, not really the typical expat. So yeah, that was nice of him to clear that up.
Again, for being an unhelpful and unfriendly person, I clarified my position. I don't have a script. When I walk around, I just say things that are on my mind, and sometimes those things get misconstrued. The whole thing about the beggars was that there are people over here that will beg from the locals and expect them to give them free food and sometimes free shelter because of their decisions. I've never done that. But there are people over here like that. And those were the people I was referring to.
But he really takes a risk by showing almost exactly where he works, where he lives, because there's lots of expats like myself looking for new places to live. You see, even his video, it says PayPal right here. I really like his videos, but that's really getting old. Asking for money all the time, you know. I don't really.
Okay, I'm going to say this right now about the money. That seems to be Gringo Life in Peru's main thing, the money. The money. Why do you always ask for money? Why do you always ask for money? If you look at my description in this video or any video, I write books. I tell people, if you want to buy my book, go here. Is that bad? Is that wrong? Is that unusual? Is that strange? I have a creative project that took me months, sometimes years, to write. And I'm asking people, if you want to read it, pay for it. Why is that bad? Why am I the one being singled out? Because I have less than 1,000 subscribers and other people have millions of subscribers. They do the same thing. Why is my merchant, why when I mention, I have these t-shirt designs, if you want to buy those, buy them. Why is that a bad thing? Why is it when I tell people, join my Patreon, here's a link. Why? You have to ask yourself, why is that a bad thing? This is marketing 101. You have a product to sell, you get that product link, you get that product description, you get that product out to as many people as possible. Why is that a bad thing? And here I'm going to show you something. This is a site called Social Blade. And if we can establish, here's my channel. You can type in any YouTube channel and see the same results. It's going to give you a grade. It's going to tell you how you're doing between all the other YouTube channels out there. Every single YouTube channel. And I got a C+. And I think that's pretty good because I don't even have 1,000 subscribers. And think about all the millions of channels that are on YouTube. Millions and millions. But here's my estimated monthly earnings. $2 to $29 a month. As of right now, with all the subscribers and all the information and things, views I have. $2 to $29. And people are complaining because I say, hey, check out my links down below and buy my book if you want. Okay, fine. Let's look at another channel. And by the way, I'm showing you this channel, but I really like this channel. I subscribe to it. I support this channel by watching their videos, hitting the like button. It's one of those paranormal channels, top 5 ghosts caught on camera. I love that kind of stuff. I don't believe in any of it, but I like that kind of stuff. So I support this channel. This is not meant to be negative toward them, but this is just to show you and to make a point. So let's see if it will actually do it. Maybe, maybe not. There we go. Slaptam. I love that channel, Slaptam. Look, he's got a B+ rating. He's got over 1 million subscribers. All right. His estimated monthly earnings on the low end is over $3,000. On the high end, almost $59,000. That's a month. That's 1 month. Remember mine? $2 to $29. That's his. All right? And that's cool. I support his channel. I'm happy for him. I'm glad. Let's look at one of his videos here. One of his more popular ones has over 3 million views. Oh my God. Look at that. He has a Patreon. He's asking people to donate to his channel, even though he's making at least $3,000 per month on his videos. The horror. The horror. He has a merch store, which is going to make him even more money. He has a website, which is monetized with ads, which means when you click there and go to it, he's making even more money. And yet, out of all the videos I've watched of his, and I watched most of them, nobody in the comments ever talks about money. All they talk about is, hey, content, their opinions about its content. And yet me, a small YouTuber, less than 1,000 people, I mentioned I have books for sale. I have a Patreon. People freak out. Why are you always begging for money? Why are you always begging for money? Thing is, I don't beg for money. Here's the thing about, my begging for money. The misunderstanding here is that in this video, Gringo says, you have a job, you get paid, why are you begging for money? I don't have a job. I relied on my income from my teaching job when I first got here. When my last school screwed me over, they didn't pay me for a whole month. That got me behind in a big way. I decided to do things differently, and instead of going back to another school who could potentially do that again, I decided to start my own thing. And the thing I started was teaching students here for free. All the students I teach, they don't pay me anything. I tried to get them to pay me something. I have a web page or I have a Facebook page, Fast Track English. You can find that in the link down below. I put out advertisements a couple times a month. If people can afford it, great. If not, great. But all the kids I teach right now have never paid me a dime. They're not going to pay me a dime. I ask people if they're interested in providing education for children and adults that can't afford an education here in Siem Reap to donate. It's very simple. If they can, great. I appreciate it. And I let them know that through my twice monthly emails. I let them know it on Patreon and in emails with my exclusive videos, exclusive photos, and other things. I let them know that by giving them copies of my book whenever I finish a new one. I don't know why that doesn't make sense. I made one video, which is still up on my channel, and the title of it is E-Begging in Cambodia. One video. That was right after I found out I wasn't getting paid for my last month of teaching. And like most people, I rely on my income to actually live. I don't know why that doesn't make sense, but I couldn't do it. So I asked people for help, and they came through. But if you look at the rest of my videos are generally 16 minutes to 30 minutes in length. This one is going to be a lot longer, I get it. But still, if at the end of that video, I take 90 seconds to 2 minutes to tell people to click my links down below, buy my books, which took me months and sometimes years to write. If I tell people to click the link down below and join my Patreon, where they get exclusive videos, exclusive pictures, and free books. Or if I tell them to click the link down below and just donate if they want to, I don't see what the harm in that is. I don't understand why I'm being scrutinized for that, when a channel like Slapped Ham, which is making money off their ads, and use $3,000 to $59,000 a month, they have a Patreon, they have a merch store, and for some reason, those big successful channels having all that doesn't matter. But when it comes to a little guy like me who doesn't even have 1,000 subscribers, it must be a scam. It must be because you're money hungry. 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes. out of 20 to 30-minute videos while I'm showing you around town. And as this video right here will tell you further, oh, he has a lot of information about things here and things there, the price of supermarkets, the price. So, information that people ask that I provide for free, but yet I'm the bad guy for mentioning my links at the end of my videos. That's the kind of thing I don't get, because it seems crazy to me why I shouldn't be expected to get paid for my work as an author when I write words on my computer. Why shouldn't I get paid for that? And I will admit that sometimes messages get lost. I don't answer every message. I can't answer every comment. I can't answer every direct message sent to me. Not only is it YouTube, but I also have Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And every single day, I get direct messages on all of those platforms. Most of the time, I make a note saying, okay, I can't answer it right now, but I remember it and look it up later. But sometimes things fall through the cracks. My apologies. I'm human. I forget things. I make mistakes. I don't know what else you want me to say about that.
I understand that. He has a job. Why does he need you asking for money?
Because I don't have a job that pays me monthly. I rely on your donations. And if you knew how much I make each month, you would be embarrassed by that statement. I've never hit $300 a month since I started this in donations. Never. So I'm living as lightly as possible. And I'm not complaining. This is not me complaining. You've never heard this on any other videos, or any of my walk-arounds, nothing. I'm not complaining. I'm not groaning. I'm not moaning. I'm not saying, oh, you don't give to me, so you don't get to ask me questions. You don't get to ask me questions. And all you guys suck. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just telling you the truth because of this video. I live on way less than what you think, my friend. And if, again, doing research before reviewing a YouTube channel, if you would have just reached out and asked that, this could have been avoided.
It's not like he has to. It's not like he has to pay for a wife and kids, man. He chooses to pay for his girlfriend and her kid. He definitely has a choice.
You're right. I definitely have a choice. So everybody out there who's having financial problems, let me tell you your choice. Get rid of your girlfriend. Get rid of the kids. Get rid of everybody. Just live for yourself in a cabin in the woods like a Unabomber. You have a choice. You have a choice. If you're poor, you don't deserve to have a relationship with anybody. Right. We've all got a choice.
But his videos are very informative.
Thank you. They're very informative. About what? I don't know. Maybe living in Cambodia, living in Siem Reap, the same things I was accused of not caring about earlier. But yes, they are very informative. Perhaps you got high AF one too many times.
I don't know about him being a good teacher. I'm not a great teacher either. But this guy,
Nobody's a great teacher. People will say they're a great teacher, but they're not. Teaching is teaching. Great is a matter of opinion. And that's all it is opinion. I do what I can for the students I have. I understand them. I try to make lesson plans according to their needs and where they're at in their learning experience. That's all I can do. That's all any teacher can do. Everything else will come from experience. And I also wanted to say real quick that this is the second day. I'm using a free video screen recorder that only allows me 45 minutes of a video at a time. So I had to make this into two separate parts, and I'm just merging them together. That's why you're going to notice some things are different up here. The view count is up for this video, things like that, because it is the next day. But we're going to start right where we left off.
He went to high school and he studied a TOEFL course. I asked him about what TOEFL course to study, and he recommended one that was like I can't remember, like $500 or $1,000. And I looked into it and I saw one for $19. So I did the one for $19 because in Peru they don't even ask for a TOEFL, and most of these places don't even know what it is. So it was nice of him to help me out that way, but no way I would pay that much for that crap.
So let me see if you guys can get why I recommended the course I took, International TOEFL Academy. Because if I asked you for a recommendation for a restaurant, I said, hey, I'm hungry. What restaurant do you recommend? Are you going to recommend me to a restaurant you've never eaten at before? Or are you going to pick one that you eat at all the time, you're familiar with, you're happy with, and tell me to go to that one? Yes, of course, it's going to be the latter, obviously. So when people ask me, can you recommend a TOEFL course? I'm going to recommend the one that I went to. It's not like I went to them all. It's not like I have 5 or 6 TOEFL certificates from different companies, because you don't need it. You need one good one. And if you're going overseas to teach English, and the one thing you want to get cheap on is the one certificate that's going to help you get teaching jobs in different countries, and that's like building a house and going really cheap on the foundation. You can have the most beautiful looking house in the world, but when the foundation crumbles, it's going to come crashing down. And that's why a lot of TOEFL teachers get a bad reputation. It has nothing to do with your formal education, whether you just went to high school, whether you went to a college, nothing like that. It has to do with how well you can teach English as a foreign language. That's what it has to do with. And people buy these ones from Groupon. That's the thing they decide, out of all the money they're going to spend to uproot themselves and move to another country, the one thing they decide that they don't want to pay for is the one thing they might actually need. And while it might not be an issue in Peru, and in some cases not even here in Cambodia, as long as you have one, generally speaking, you'll be good. But in some countries, they will check your TOEFL certificate just as hard as they will your university degree if you have one, if it's required. And those cheap schools, I'm telling you, you'll go to some countries and it'll just be a no-go. You're not going to get in. You're not going to be able to teach with those certificates. And the reason TOEFL teachers get a bad reputation is because people go cheap on that. Then they go to teach, realize they don't really know how to teach, so they just kind of wing it, just kind of hope for the best. And then, of course, that's a disservice to the students, to the reason, supposedly, that you wanted to move to another country and teach. So yeah, going cheap on there is totally your choice. But if you ask me my recommendation, I can only recommend the one that I went to, the one that I know, the one that I trust. And that would be the International TOEFL Academy. Now, if you remember at the beginning of this video, I'm not too friendly, I'm not too helpful. And yet he's already admitted. He asked me about visas. I gave him the information. He says my videos are full of useful information. There it is. He wanted me to clarify a statement I made. I gave him an answer. He wanted a recommendation for a TOEFL course. I gave him my recommendation. But I'm not too friendly or helpful, I guess.
especially if there's teachers over there that only did high school. Over here, if you only did high school, it's going to be hard to find a job. It's hard to find a job with just a university degree. All right, let's see. Let's see a little bit from the market.
And now he's just going to go through one of my market videos here. Nothing exciting happened. You've probably already seen it, so let's skip ahead a little bit.
Of course, the preferred method of transportation.
I think it ends here.
Yeah, kind of an impromptu trip. I'm not really sure why we're here. Yeah.
Okay, so it is cool to walk around the market, have a little conversation with the camera. But I don't know if you noticed, like, some of his viewers are more important than the others. It seems like, I don't know, like the yuppies, like the, I don't know, like he has certain preferences for certain types of people that visit. Maybe he gets some money for recommending them to a school or something. I'm really not sure. But
Do I get money for recommending them to a school? What school? Do I get money for recommending people to a school? And I don't know what yuppies you're talking about. My demographic is basically males between the ages of 40 and 55, according to my YouTube analytics. Those are the majority of people that watch my videos. So I'm not sure where this whole yuppie thing comes in. Are yuppies even a thing anymore? I think somebody stuck back in the 80s, man, because I don't even know what that means. As far as showing preference, like I said, I try to respond to every single comment I get when I can. Do some slip through the cracks? Yes, they do. It has nothing to do with who you are or anything like that. Sometimes I just miss comments because, again, I'm human. And let's face it, some people have been with me for a lot longer time. They've commented on my videos. They've liked my videos. They let me know that they're there. They're familiar faces. And just like in real life, if you walk into a room and see a bunch of familiar faces on one end and people you don't really know on the other end, which one are you going to go to first to have a conversation? I don't know why that's a complicated thing. YouTube is just like any other social interaction. It's not that they're my favorites. They're just the ones I'm familiar with. So I do try to answer them because they've been watching my videos for a long time. And I don't understand why that don't make sense. People think because you're online, there's supposed to be this different structure and hierarchy than you would in real life. And it really doesn't work like that. The only reason I have less than 300 friends on Facebook is because I don't care to friend everybody in the world just to make my numbers look big. Same thing on Twitter, same thing on Instagram. I don't feel the need to do that. If people are interested in my content and I'm interested in their content, we're going to get along fine.
I noticed that immediately. Like some viewers are more important than the others. Maybe they give him money. Probably. I'm not really sure about it. But I'm sure you heard him in the video about someone special coming. He always does that.
Not someone special coming. I have a YouTube channel about living in Siem Reap, Cambodia. People are going to watch this channel because either A, they just like the footage, and I do have subscribers who tell me most of the time they just put me on mute. They just like watching the scenes, and that's fine. I don't mind that at all. But others are thinking about moving here. They're interested in this part of the world. And they keep me updated. Like, hey, I'm going to be there in 2 months. I'm going to be there in a month. Oh, I got less than 3 weeks. And so when they're on their way, when they're arriving, I'm excited. I'm saying, hey, I finally get to meet another subscriber. I like meeting my subscribers. Sometimes I can't meet them all if they're only here for a few days and it just doesn't happen, then it just doesn't happen. But when I have a chance, I think it's a good thing. It wasn't that they're special above anybody else. They just happened to let me know, hey, I'm going to be there on this day, blah, blah, blah. I'm there to move, etc., etc. And I announce that because my channel is about my life here. And meeting people who come over from my channel is part of my life here. Very simple. No conspiracy theories or anything like that. The earth is still a sphere. The earth is not flat. Gravity exists, and nobody is more special than anyone else.
Yeah, this guy just gave him $20. I don't know why. He has a job.
Again, I already talked about the money thing. Yes, he did send me $20. I believe you're talking about David Cook. He's a good supporter of mine. He's from the United Kingdom. He's not one of those special people that I announced coming over here. I'm not getting money recommending him to a school. I don't even know what that means. But yes, and again, to reiterate, I don't have a job that pays me money. And a little bit of research would have shown that. If you notice the video he's looking at, oh, look, I heart that video. I comment on that video. I heart that video. I comment on that video. Not just the guy who gave me $20. If you go back through all my videos, look at my comments, see how many are hearted by me, and see how many times I responded to those comments. There's only two comment kinds I don't respond to. The troll kind, which are obvious, and ones that just say random things sometimes. Maybe I don't quite understand what they're asking. Because if I don't know how to respond, then I just don't respond. But I get a lot of people who are just don't think things through. One guy, his very first comment to me on my first cost of living video, the first comment he left was something along the lines of, God, you talk way too much. Just get to the point already. That was his whole comment. A couple days later, he commented in a different video, a more recent video, asking me for information about something here in Cambodia. Now, I'm not going to respond to that because his first interaction was him being a dumbass. And if you're going to treat me like that right off the bat, I'm not going to help you any further. I don't have a lot of time as it is. And sometimes things do fall through the cracks. I don't have time for the trolls. It's that simple. But if you go back and look through my comments on any of my videos, you're going to see the majority of them have been hearted, they've been read, they've been responded to. And I take suggestions all the time from viewers, no matter if they supported me financially or not. If they have a good question, something I haven't covered in a long time, or something maybe I need to go more in depth on, I will make a video about it. Just like I did with two questions I've had in the past few days. And that will be coming up in my video I upload tomorrow. The video is already made. I wanted to put this one up first. But yeah, and neither of those people has ever sent me a dime. But here I am making video explaining these or answering these questions they have. So your assumptions are false. You've contradicted yourself throughout most of this video, saying I'm not friendly, I'm not helpful, but I helped you here, I helped you here, I answered this, I answered this. You're showing right now in the video that I comment on as many responses as I get, and just basically not doing research enough to find out exactly what was going on. Not even reaching out to me and saying, hey, I'm going to make this video about you. I have some questions about your channel. Can you clarify some things? There was no communication except the one time it popped up. I made a video about your channel. So that's the kind of thing that makes me have to make a video like this and take up my time. Anyway, there's a few more minutes. If you guys want to take a look at it, his channel name is Gringo Life in Peru. But I got to end this one now because I got to make a lesson plan for today and get ready to go to work later tonight. But that's all I wanted to say about that. This isn't a drama channel. This isn't about arguing back and forth. If I wanted a channel like that, I'll start a brand new one. This is a different kind of video than what you're used to, but I just thought I'd defend myself against this kind of attack. And like I said, it wasn't all bad, and I do appreciate the nice things he said about me. But overall, everything I just said here could have been answered like via email or messenger or any other form of communication. I'm not that hard to find. He does go on to say, and one other thing, I'm not going to go there, but he does go on to say that he thinks I give too much personal information, like people know where I live and they know everything about me and the school I work at. And again, I'm going to take that as a contradictory statement to what he said earlier. I don't know if I can trust him. He might be pulling a scam with the money. Scammers don't allow you into their personal lives, in case you don't know. I am very easy to find. If I was pulling a scam, it would be found out way before now, and it wouldn't be that hard to do. There are lots of people over here right now that started out watching me on my YouTube channel, and they could figure that out pretty quickly if they wanted to. They could expose me right now if it was a scam. But it's not a scam, because I am easy to find. I am very accessible. So if anybody has questions about why do you do this, how about this, how about this, I got tons of ways for you to get a hold of me. Tons. Very accessible. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I have blogs. I have a website. I got my Fast Track English page. If you don't want to do any of those, you can go to Single Eyes Cooking Channel on YouTube. Ask me a question there if you prefer that method. Whatever you want to do, but I'm very accessible. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here for this one. Get rid of this whole mess and go back to my regular videos. All right, guys. I will talk to you in the next one.